Welcome to Barcelona, the second biggest city in Spain and the capital of the autonomous Catalan region. It's over 4,000 years old and was one of the first cities in Europe to become industrialised. Famous landmarks include the Basilica Sagrada Familia, and it's on the Mediterranean coast here where we've landed for the 5th round of the 24-hour series. The FIA International Endurance Series Round 5, organised by Creventic, a full paddock, accessible to all of course, with teams from all over the world and drawing in spectators too. This weekend it is possible that some teams might even claim their championships in this FIA series.
We're here to circuit the Barcelona-Catalunya, and we're here for the 24 Hours Barcelona. It's the 17th edition of this race. So it has emerged as one of the most important 24-hour races in Europe itself. This weekend, 74 cars entered the race, and well, who knows, maybe next year we can go even one step beyond that.
Friday the 4th of September 2015, and the cars are on a rainy track for the qualification session.
Unfortunately, we crashed the car before the qualification, but the guys done a very good job. They repaired the car at night, and we won the qualification in the diesel category.
We went first out with rain tires, and afterwards there came a drying line, and we took the risk to start on slicks. And in the last 2-3 laps I could do quite some good lap times on the slick tires. And in the end we were P1 in class, and it was very good, everything went fine, and we were quite happy.
The car was fantastic, so credit to the guys and the team. Put me with a very good car to drive, and we were quickest in the wet, and then we sat in the pits for 10-15 minutes while the circuit dried, and we took a gamble, went on slicks to the end, and it paid off.
Qualifying was fantastic. It's always nice to be on pole, and it's always nice to beat a lot of drivers. I rate them very high here, so being in front of them is a real thrill. Also for the team it was fantastic, so that's a lot of honor for my job, I would say.
All cars have qualified for the main race, but one, the number 22 Lamborghini Huracan, can't take part in this session.
We have a little bit bad luck in the qualifying before we start. We have an engine accident, so we have to change the engine, and it was a reason that we start from the last place.
Saturday the 5th of September 2015, teams are getting ready on the grid. Here's a face of note on the 90 Seat Leon Super Copa.
Yes, I have birthday today. I'm 54 years old and over 30 years racing. I hope my birthday helps all that we have a good result.
74 cars are ready on the grid. Cesar Gonzalez knows why there are so many.
There's nothing worse than staying at home when there's a racing weekend.
It's our first time we race the 24 hours here in Barcelona, so we're really looking forward to it. It looks like so far it's been a very nice event. A lot of people, a lot of spectators, that's nice. So yeah, we're ready to go.
Simon Knemp is doing the start. I did last year the 12-hour race in Zandvoort to start. He has a lot of experience also with GT4, so that's why we decided to let him start.
Lot of cars on the track, and I think at night it will be very crashful races. I don't know, we will see it. A lot of cars.
These guys behind me are incredibly quick, and it's the See It Works driver, so I think the start of the race is going to be quite exciting.
It's just going to be a tough one. You have to keep our momentum, keep going, keep in a good rhythm, keep looking after the tyres, and make sure we just run like clockwork.
After 2 warm-up laps, the pace car is off the circuit and the field is ready to start behind the pole sitter, the number 5 Mercedes.
The start of the race was fantastic. We took a really slow warm-up lap. We warmed up the tires nicely, and I think all the cars just behind me were getting close on the start. I had a really good start into turn 1, and after that was just controlling the race.
I had a really great start. Immediately from the beginning on, I could overtake my competitors from the Diesel 1 class, but also from the A2 class. I was very competitive, the car was well prepared, and immediately I was gain space between competitors and ourselves, and even made positions gain up from other classes.
Yes, the start was very good. We have the best driver for the start. It's a good driver. This can overtake 3-4 cars in the first lap. It was perfect for us.
The number 10 Mercedes in the amateur A6 class. That means it's not allowed to go quicker than 1 minute and 55 seconds, but it's still in second place.
I did a start in the first stint, but yeah, with no traffic, it's really easy to go under 155. So to get a rhythm was not so easy. I had to let other A6 class autos pass.
So many cars were very speed, were very aggressive, yeah. And you have to be careful because you have car everywhere, and it's very dangerous.
The start was pretty good. So after a couple of laps, I went from P11 to P4. At the beginning, it was quite difficult to overtake and regarding the slow cars and to find a good gap. But I had a good rhythm, and the car had the pace to end up in the front. Let's see what the race is like.
Early on in the race, the first cars have to go into the pits for technical problems. Meanwhile, on the track, it's Peter Cox in the number 4 Ferrari setting the fastest lap.
In the beginning of the race, there is no traffic. That helps a lot. And the car was running quite well, you know, and I was not really pushing. I saw that the number 5 Mercedes was pushing quite hard.
The endurance races for the Creventic 24-hour series are known for their hard but fair competition. When you're racing right on the edge, sometimes you do go over, and it's not very long before we see some cars off the circuit.
Another car chucked me at the back, and I was very, shocked. And the car and my car going straight away on the gravel.
The number 4 Ferrari, he's just set the fastest lap, has had problems and is off at the side of the circuit.
We lost drive, and we think it's a gearbox issue, so we have changed the gearbox, and now we're running again. But obviously it's a long race because we start dead last, yeah. So
Jens Klingmann in the number 3 BMW was unlucky as well. At the start of the straight, he was involved in a collision.
One of the cars, he spun out in the last corner, and I think he wanted to enter the pits. And then all of a sudden, he stopped on track on my racing line, and I didn't expect that. He did a full brake, he stopped, and then I crashed into him. I had no chance to avoid the crash. Also for the team, it's even worse. So I feel a bit ashamed, but there was no way to avoid it.
I was on the track, and suddenly I lost power, and only by rebooting the ECU, the engine started again, and that happened several times. And luckily, we have our programmer locally here, and he could assist and find the bugs.
We were chasing back a lot of cars, but unfortunately the car broke down. The water pump broke, so I had to come back to the pits, and we started to repair the car.
After like 1.5 hours, we were in front again on P1, so that was okay. And after that, we were like in second and third place all the time.
Renger van der Zande is normally active in the United States, so he knows exactly how this 24-hour series is different.
Over here I like it a lot. It's very open. People can come into the pit lane, can into the pit box, look at the car, can feel the hot tires and smell the burning rubber and fuel. So it's a very good series for everyone who likes racing.
After 3 hours, many changes of lead, and now it's Ram Racing number 30 Mercedes in third, Hoffa Racing Mercedes number 10 in second, the Porsche number 7 of HB Racing Team Herbeth who holds the lead. In the classes, the 66 Porsche of ARC Bratislava in the SP2 class, currently first in their category, the 93 Mazda of Mark Cars Australia is second, and the number 149 Chevrolet of RWT Racing is third. 7th overall and first in the 997 class, obviously another Porsche, it's the 56 RMS car, with their 59 car second, and third in the class is the DriveX Porsche 991 number 54. There's a lot of visitors around the garage of Laia Sanz. She's 8 times Spanish, 10 times European and 13 times world champion in off-road biking, here racing a Seat Leon.
The goal is to improve the result from last year. It's not easy because last year we won the class and we finished I think 13 or 12 in the overall. But we're gonna try to do better. It's very different from bikes, this kind of race. it's in a track, all opponents again, together, so it's very different, but I enjoy it.
Team KH7 Monlau, they're the team with the least drivers.
In my team we are just 2 drivers, so this is something very difficult because we cannot rest, and we drive for 2 hours, rest 2 hours, 2 hours, and it's long.
Volkswagen 141 has difficulties. Really have to ask the question, why do these problems only ever show up during the race?
We did intensive testing, but under pure race condition, everything is still different. And because we rebuilt everything, the car is brand new, so we still have some minor tweaks what we have to fix.
Plenty of action out on the track, and rejoining is the number 3 BMW Valkenhorst Motorsport.
We nearly lost 2.5 hours in the pits, so it's a bit bad from now on, but we just have a clean race from here on. Let's see what happens. I think the podium or even the top 20, 30 is going to be tough, but we'll just give our best and see what happens.
And I pass a small car, I am inside, and when I push the gas, just a little bit, and the car, boom, the car twists. But it was just a little bit. Okay, for this.
We've been unlucky from the first moment. There was something wrong with the steering rack after 5 laps. Then we came back in with this problem. We thought we fixed it, and now we went out, we had the same problem again. Well, I just drove out of the pit lane. I did 2 laps, drove over a curb, and suddenly it just shut down. They're now replacing the throttle body. But it's quite hard to do that. So the team is a bunch of ex-Formula 1 mechanics, so they really know what to do. So I'm happy they're here. We need them hard right now, but they do an awesome job.
Engineers are all over the pit lane, most of them not former Formula 1 mechanics, and they're working hard to keep their vehicles in the race, dealing with all kinds of issues.
We were thinking that the engine was broken, but by 2 times the car went out and back, and we have remarked that we have a big hole in the gearbox. So at the moment we do not know what we do, if we are going to take the race again, but there is at least around 3 to 4 hours repair.
A 24-hour series endurance race has many classes. Each class has their own championship and therefore its own excitement. In the A2 category, the Peugeot of Milan competition, Michael Vaillant, has to fight 8 other teams.
Right now we are second. Of course, the expectation is to finish first on the podium. Now, it was difficult because we were the last on the grid, but after 30 minutes we were third of the category, and now we are second of the category, about 1 lap difference with the first one. But it's the lap that we lost at the beginning of the race.
Teams have entered representing 16 different countries, and as far as the drivers are concerned, 33 different territories worldwide. 2 to 5 drivers in a team, mechanics, assistants, catering, truck drivers, and of course the team manager, keen to see their car first in class. Of course, in endurance racing, it can always be the actions of other drivers or teams that determines your chances and indeed your finishing position.
I was in a speed curb, a Seat came in and crashed in the front of my car, and I had no chance to avoid it, but well, that's race, you know, and the other guys drove extremely good and fast. And if everything was running good, we were on the top 5, but that's race, you know.
1/4 of the way in, 6 hours. Let's have a look at the standings. Number 30 Ram Racing is back in the lead with 3 laps now between them and the rest of the top 4. The 7 Porsche of HB Racing Team Herbeth is second. Hofer Racing, the Mercedes-Benz, number 10, is third. Class SPX, that's where you'll find the Lamborghini Huracans. 13 leading that class, with the sister car, the 21, second, and the Leopard Motorsport number 22, third. In the A5 class, it's the Securtal 71 in third, MDM Motorsport number 147 in second, and the number 146 BMW of Saxon Motorsport leading the way. The circuit to Barcelona-Catalunya opened in 1991, and 25 years down the road, it's still a track that drivers love.
I love this circuit actually, it's great, it's very fast and flowing and it really does suit this car.
It's got some nice fast corners, a couple of tight corners, some undulations, and I thoroughly enjoy it, it's really great.
The circuit is around 4 kilometers, 0.7, and it's a Formula 1 circuit. Also we use the circuit for MotoGP, but the layout of the circuit is different from the MotoGP. For the 24 hours, it's exactly the same layout as the Formula 1.
Originally, the circuit organised the 24-hour race just by themselves, and this is the 17th year of the event.
We started with Creventic 4 years ago, and we started to renew this event, no? And we are now very happy because we are still growing and we are still doing the things better together, and we think that we have a good partnership and this joint venture to go ahead with the 24 hours. We are thinking in a long term.
It's a good combination between a series very professional on one side, but where you feel really at ease. And it's really what I like. That's why I come back again in this organization.
It draws a spectator crowd too.
Motorsport is a very big thing in Barcelona itself and in the whole region of Catalonia. We can only be proud for all the people that come to visit this beautiful race. The race has been very exciting up until now. We were experiencing a lot of lead changes in several classes, especially the A3T class has been heavily fought by several teams, as well as the A2 class. The overall lead is heavily fought through by the number 30 Ram Racing Mercedes and the number 7 Herbert Motorsport Porsche. And well, we still have 18 hours to go, so we're going to see what it's going to bring after all.
Drivers always want to push their cars to the limit, and you'll see a car get the fastest time, then a couple of laps later it's in the pits being repaired. You got to think the drivers may be pushing a little too hard.
No, I don't think so, because the car is very reliable, and normally you can push always very hard with these cars. It's just very unfortunate. We still don't know what happened. We have to look into it after the race.
If you break the rear wing, for sure you've touched something, then you know that you've been over the limit. But a fuel pump or something small can break on the car and ruin your race, and that's motorsport as well.
And of course, any small issue might ruin your race.
It was, to be honest, simply horrible, yeah, because we developed yesterday a new thing, which is this one, which helps me to shift down the gears. But it was broken in lap 4, so I had most of the corners 1 or 2 to high gear, and no RPMs, no power, and so I lost 3 to 4 seconds per lap.
Most drivers and teams don't encounter these kind of problems and can really enjoy the whole race.
It was good fun. It's very competitive out there. The faster cars are quite aggressive. So you have to always look behind and in front. So it's quite of a challenge, but it was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it.
I'm racing now the 3rd time here in Barcelona. Compared to other races, especially compared to Dubai, you know, here you face much more the weather challenges, to have the right strategy between wet tires, dry tires, and so on. And that makes it interesting, and especially because here in Catalan it's a nice area. Food and drinks is also, the hospitality is great here.
The Porsche 997 of HB Racing Team Herbert was certainly a contender to be on the overall podium, but now it's in the pits.
We had a problem with the gearbox, the 5th gear is broken. And when I had to accelerate from 4 to 5, nothing goes, you have no power. I go to the box and I tell them that, so they change the gear. And we lose a lot of time. More than 80 minutes.
As the daylight begins to fade, we're heading towards darkness.
I will be in the car 2 times in the night. 1 stint and 1 stint break, and the next stint again in the car. Because I don't like miss-success. I do not like miss-success.
I think overnight maybe more people getting out. So you have to be very careful. And more rubber as the tires wear off. There's more stuff on the circuit, so you have to be more careful.
The night is always crazy, you never know what happens. If the sun comes up, After that, you can see a little bit where you are and where you're going to be at the finish.
9 hours of racing are now behind us. Here's how they stand. So with the number 7 battling its issues, it's fallen down to 18th position. So the top 3 looks like this. HP Racing in 3rd with their 2nd, the number 2 car. Hofer Racing with the number 10 Mercedes-Benz in 2nd. And Ram Racing with a 4-lap lead. In the A2 class, the Peugeot 115 of K-Raija Racing is leading the class. The 119 Michael Vaillant Peugeot is 2nd. And the Renault Clio of Auto Parts is in 3rd. In the D1 diesel class, it's the 137 Caucasus Volkswagen Golf leading, with the 139 Seat Leon of RCM Motorsport in 2nd, and another Golf, the 141 of TTC Racing in 3rd.
Track is a very technical track. It's very hard for tires actually. It consumes much more tires than, for example, Paul Ricard in the last round.
In the nickname, the Barcelona track is also tire killer track. Therefore, it's a very good place to get, let me say, really hard data because the track is really hard against the tire, and you can see all around our tires survive excellent. So it's very good for us, but our target is always to improve for the future. We brought, like always, engineers from Korea over. These guys come from our R&D center, research and development. They take care about the tires, they collect tire data, because it's very important for us to get as much as possible data or the data out of the tires to improve our performance for the future. Accidents means always some parts are outside. When you see the tires, they have cuts, there's some steel parts in it or carbon fiber parts. This is really hard for the tire to survive here with a 24-hour race.
Tires, I think, are not a problem today. They work very well, yes.
In our series, we don't have favorites. We like all the cars participating, but I have to say, for me personally, I like the design of the Michel Vaillant car a lot as a comic fan.
Michel Vaillant is a cartoon from 1957, and he's a guy who has won absolutely everything. So we wanted that he was capable to win the 24 hours of Barcelona now. I work with the son of Jean Graton, the creator of Michel Vaillant. So we decided together to do this car and to do this t-shirt too. With Michel Vaillant, we just did a watch Michel Vaillant style, and we have 15 exemplars of this BRM Vaillant. It's very nice watch.
That is Michel Vaillant watches. You have the Michel Vaillant logo, and the color of the hand are blue, white, red, like the French flag. On the cases is a very special unpolished steel with a grey face.
The cartoon we're gonna launch in 1 month. You will see the brother of Michel Vaillant, Jean-Pierre Vaillant. At one moment he will have a look on his watch, and the watch he will be looking will be the BRM Vaillant. So the idea was to use this and to do 15 exemplars of this watch.
BRM also make other unique watches, for instance the championship prizes for the 24-hour series.
It's unique for the 24-hour series. It's a very special watch we produce only for the 24-hour series. It's a 24-hour watches, and you have a very special movement inside. They turn in only one time a day, like here, 24 hours. With 2 sapphire glass, and you have stainless steel boxes with PVD, black PVD. We produce only for Creventic events, and we have the V6 hybrid watch and V6 automatic on the V12.
The overall championship winners after the next round in Brno will take home one of these bespoke watches from the 24-hour series main sponsors BRM. However, they first need to finish in a good position here in Barcelona, where now it's properly dark.
It's at the beginning, it's overwhelming because there are so many lights, and you're passing, you're being passed, you're passing and you're being passed, and the lights really make it very, very difficult to see. But as you get on with it, the times become very good, and it's an amazing experience.
First of all, we had a small crash at the very beginning, but we got up to 25th place, and then we crept on it through and got up to first in class, 5th overall, but then an alternator went. So we've had to come in, put an alternator on, so we're back in the 3rd in class at the moment. With all the extra lights on it, I don't think it's powerful enough. Next time we'll put a bigger alternator on, I think. Something more suitable.
Although it's night time, the field hasn't significantly slowed down. Still fierce action all over the track. It seems that every position matters, although getting knocked off track doesn't just cost you time, it could ruin your race entirely.
Alan James was driving, he had a coming together with a BMW in the next door garage on the last turn and hit the wall. A lot of damage, front end, bonnet, bumper, wing, rear end, suspension damage. We had a very adult conversation. There's a video in the car, most of the people have got videos in the car, so you can clearly see, and you have to talk to the clerk of the course anyway if you're involved in an accident. So it's quite civilised, it's okay.
And here is the 76 Honda Civic and the 173 BMW of Roll Centre Racing getting together. Race control immediately puts out a code 60. That means all drivers must slow down to under 60 kilometres an hour. It seems some have missed the flags, however, and 43 drivers are penalised with stop-and-go penalties for speeding or overtaking at the start of this safety period. And still, there are cars that need service.
He was on the road and on the track, and it was in neutral. He couldn't move so there was something with the hydraulic pump, but we changed the full gearbox because we couldn't find exactly, and we had a spare gearbox, so we changed it. So it takes a lot of time, but it's only half of the race, so we still have a lot of laps that we can do if the car is going okay now.
We have some electronical issues. We are still trying to figure out what happened, but before that we also had a fuel pump issue, so it's a quite busy night for us. And yeah, we are working very hard, and we think we're gonna be back on track soon.
There's some very high curbs on the last few sections of the circuit, and if you hit those curbs hard, you can damage drive shafts. So we think that's how the drive shafts were damaged. That's just one of those things.
Endurance events means that a crash doesn't automatically mean your race is finished.
Before the crash, we are 2 in class, and when we go out of boxes, we are maybe 12 of class, and we make a big stint, and now we are 6 or 7 in class.
Nearly halfway. We've had quite some lead changes. Now in the overall lead, it's getting a quite clear picture with the Ram Racing Mercedes being up front for several laps now. But in the other classes, especially the lower classes like A2 and D1, we've had quite some lead changes due to technical difficulties or cars that needed to go in the pits for quite some time. So I think from the sporting side of view, we're having a very good competition here.
Here's the standings at midnight, halfway through the race. In the overall classification, Ram Racing still has 4 laps on second place, which is now the number 2 HP Racing. They've swapped with third place Hofer Racing, the 10 Mercedes-Benz, now in third. In the A6 category, the top 3 mirrors, of course, the overall standings. Mercedes-Benz are dominant. In fourth position, though, the number 29 Audi R8 of Team DriveX adds a little variety. In SP3, third position for Core Oiz's team with the 160 Lotus Evora. Ginetta number 178 of CWS 4x4 is 2 laps ahead and in second. And leading the 43 Porsche 997 of APO Motorsport, they've got a 3-lap lead. We simply couldn't go racing without the marshals at the side of the track. Their colleagues in the pit lane are watching everything there just to make sure everything is done correctly and towards the rules of the 24-hour series.
And basically through observation of the operations the cars do when being in the pit. So that includes the operations like changing tires or anything that can be done inside, basically respecting what they can do, how many mechanics are working at the same time on the car. Also only 4 mechanics, and then also 1 person can clean the car at the same time. All the others may assist the mechanics, pass them some tools, some hardware, but cannot touch directly the car. You see the guys who have the yellow suite, only those ones are allowed to touch the car, to play with the car. If you see now, only 4 people are at the car. Otherwise, they would not follow the rules correctly, so they would have a report and probably they would get a penalty, 1 lap or a few seconds deducted from the classmen.
Saxon Motorsports BMW is leading the A5 class. They qualified 8th out of 9, so their race pace is much better than how they went in the qualifying.
We sort of expected that, more competitive on the longer runs rather than just a quick lap. To get into the lead and to keep it is all down to consistency and reliability. We've got 4 drivers that are all driving at very much the same pace, and we're keeping out of the pits. We're having the absolute minimum of pit stops.
Race leader Ram Racing has run into difficulties, and those laps lead that it had are in danger of disappearing.
Unfortunately, we had a problem after about 12 hours with the power steering. We had to change the pump, could continue, but lost around about 12 laps. It was a shame because we were in a very good lead.
Obviously, we have gained a lot of places, so we hope to be at least in the top 5 of our class and maybe within the top 20 overall.
We are back in pit, disaster for us. Thanks to our team, the guys working very hard to fix it, and I hope we can go back to track.
A car was spinning in front of me. I was going in a turn in a 4th gear in full speed, and just a car in front of me, I went into the stones and just kept on running because I knew there was a road on the back. So I came to the road and then on the track again, so that's what happened.
After racing for nearly 16 hours, the battles in the field are still as exciting as when the race started, and of course that means mishaps.
Some drivers in a corner here catch us out, and we have a damage on the rear wheel, so we have to repair and we have to bring it back to the track. It's okay. So it was during the night, it can't be happened, that's racing, but anyway we are happy for the first time. And I have to tell to everybody, this is a very nice event. Creventic is doing a very good job. I think it's cool.
We are doing different categories, LMS, Blancpain, and we did Le Mans also, 24 hours Le Mans. But this is a good series. It's funny, people are nice. This is something different from other series, and the atmosphere is good. So, and my drivers, they like it.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning, the most difficult time in any endurance race. And Ram Racing's 4-lap lead has now become a 4-lap deficit. They're still 3rd overall, Hofer Racing Mercedes-Benz in 2nd, and the HP Racing number 2 car is now leading overall. The biggest class in terms of numbers at the 24 Hours of Barcelona is the A3T touring car category, and leading at the moment, the NKKP Racing number 98. Memak Ogilvy Dual Racing has their 95 car in 2nd place, and the first non-Seat is the number 208 Peugeot of Team Altran in 3rd. In the SP2 category, most of the cars in the class have led at one time or another. Currently GC Automobile 2nd in SP2, sandwiched between the 91 Mark Focus and the 92 Mark Focus in 1st position. This is the 5th round of the 24-hour series for 2015. Spectators in the paddock, in the grandstands, but also away from the circuit. One of the many ways to stay updated is social media.
We've got a lot of people that follow us at home and a lot of followers on Twitter, so we just like to keep them all updated so they know exactly what's going on. As you can see, there's quite a lot going on, so it's quite interesting for a lot of people.
And it's not only the teams. The Creventic organisation is also doing their bit.
We have extensive live coverage for this event, 24-hour live streaming on our website, as well as 10 hours live slot on Motor TV, and the highlight show that's going to be broadcasted after the event.
We have Radio Le Mans with us, which is probably the preeminent
broadcaster of sports car racing. And then there's the text on the web page, which has become more and more voluminous with each race as we go by. More and more information is there. And then there's more and more of an international media presence. A number of journalists here from different countries. And then there's also the work that I do, which isn't going to see the light of day for some time, but because I write books on sports car racing history, all these Creventic events will eventually find their way into my subsequent books, which covers these kinds of races in considerable detail.
There's a huge emphasis on supplying everyone with relevant data.
What we were doing this weekend is looking at the points possibilities going into the final two rounds in order for the television, radio commentators to make comments on, and also for the drivers and teams themselves to know where they are and what their possibilities are.
Driving in the dark is something a lot of drivers don't do often. Many circuits can't even allow it due to noise regulations, so being able to race in the dark is a real experience for many of the drivers here this weekend.
Driving in the night's always challenging, should I say. This track's quite good in terms of visibility in front of you. It's very difficult to see who's coming up from behind, whether they're catching you or whether you're pulling away from them is difficult to work out.
For me, I think one of the most enjoyable things of the race is overtaking. The slower cars, obviously I'm used to being in a bit of a lower class before, so I was always the one being overtaken. But in this race today, I'm really enjoying, being the faster car and judging what the traffic is doing and doing lots of overtaking.
The Althea Sport Porsche unfortunately not able to reach the morning light.
We had to change the gearbox one time and fought back to 46 in place and get back on 32. And yes, the second time the gearbox crashes and now it's over.
Others, far more fortunate, have claimed the lead in their class.
We're first in class at the moment and we're very happy and everything goes very good. We're probably the only car in our class with no problems and it's nice.
Oh, now we are in our class on the first place, so it's a very nice place and we hope that we can finish the race on this place.
We will take it nice and slowly here at the last 6 hours and change the drivers every 1.5 hours instead of 2 hours, so we can keep we are fresh in our heads.
Last time we won the 24 hours in Le Castellet. Now we are on third place. Maybe we can get one more position, we'll see. There are still like 6 hours to go. Many things can happen.
These words proved to be true. The number 30 Mercedes-Benz had to be pulled out of the gravel. Clearly, past results and performance can never guarantee the final outcome.
2 years ago, the car was third general, just a small diesel car, and we had hopes to do top 10 again. And everything was looking good, lap times were good, drivers were motivated, team was perfect, but in the end, it didn't happen. 6 hours before the end, our engine broke, so we decided to retire.
The car is here because unfortunately we broke. Our brakes were not functioning properly and one of the drivers hit the car from the back. He tried to continue driving and therefore the engine overheated because of the radiator. We could not continue the race.
The car that the 88 Seat had contact with was the 92 Mark Focus. That was the leader in the SP2 class. Sadly, they couldn't recover and had to retire the car.
The night has been tough for a lot of cars. Some ended up in the pit boxes. Some could fix the problems, others are still in there. We've seen some lead changes for the overall position too. And also in some classes, now it's getting a bit more clear who's gonna win after all. But it has been a tough night for all of us.
There's not been much change in the overall standings, but now the top 10 has 4 A6 class cars, 4 Category 997s, 1 SPX, the Lamborghini of course, and 1 touring car, the A3T class leader. In SP3, APO Sport are back in the lead with the 43 Porsche. The 160 for Oises teams now down to second in class. The 178 CWS 4x4 has such a large lead over the rest of the category, it can be pretty certain of a podium position. In A3, the Saxon Motorsport 146 BMW has a 28-lap lead. Duo Racing is second with the 79 car, and they're 12 laps ahead of the 84 Intersport Racing BMW in third. The 24-hour series has implemented a unique system of onboard cameras, not just for TV coverage, but also very much for the use of the teams.
Yeah, it really helps. It's much better, so we can put all the parts together before the car comes in. It's faster repairing, and also we can see what the driver is doing.
The German firm DCH Distribution is responsible for the onboard camera system.
We do live onboard broadcasts out of race cars, from motorcycles, from snowboarder, but here in this case we bring up a HD live stream out of the race car via public cellular network, and that's the brand new thing that makes the solution very affordable and effective.
It was very impressive about the viewing in the car. It was very, very clear, and also we had some VIP guests with us, and they was very, very impressed.
We place some monitors in the pit box, so the team can look live what happens in the car. They see what happens and they can react much more earlier.
And if we want to see something on the dashboard and the driver is not able to say, we can see it directly. So it's a good thing also for me and for the team.
As the countdown to the checkered flag continues, teams are working out their podium chances.
It has been very difficult, a lot of accidents during the night. We lost our third gear. Now we are second and doing the same lap times as the leader. So with one pit stop less, it should work out, we hope.
We had a problem in the beginning. A car hit me, so we lost like 18 minutes. We've been pushing to go up, but I think we are second for the moment. I don't know how it's going to finish.
The number 115 Team K-Riser has led the A2 class for over 20 hours, but a late race mechanical problem is threatening their chance for even a podium position. And they're not the only team to have had problems like that.
It was a very tough race for us because we met a lot of problems, but it was very important to finish the race for the championship, because if we finish sixth, we keep the second place at the championship, but we hope to are very lucky in Brno and to have no problem.
I had a crash with an Seat, and we had to repair about 30 minutes, but we could repair, and today and this morning the car is running really good.
Yeah, I think halfway in class. We are climbing now. I think we're doing the fastest lap times in the class, but we cannot go any further than I think 7th in class about that.
We are very happy to be here. We're in the second place in the 997 class, so it's a very good result for us. It's first time for us to enter the 24 hours of Barcelona, so we are very, very happy.
RCA Racing Seat Leon has been in the garage now for nearly 3 hours, but it's not finished its racing time just yet.
Our final position is to be determined now, because if we are determined to finish. So the car is going to go out for the last race, just for the honor of the finishing, and we don't know what will be our end position, but it will be probably the last of the ones who finish.
Drama for the number 2 car of HP Racing. They were leading the field, but in the final half hour of the race, a collision with the number 22 Lamborghini makes the bonnet come loose and needs makeshift repairs. The team's mechanics got it out quickly, so still fighting for the lead. In all of the classes, the battles continue. Points for the championship are tremendously important, with just one race to go at Brno next time out. The final lap of the 24 hours and more drama. Bernd Schneider slowing down considerably. Cars from all classes are going past him. The experienced German saying he was under the impression that he'd already finished and this was a slowing down lap. However, the reality is he's timing it to perfection to pass the checkered flag at exactly 24 hours and 1 second after the start. So what were Bernd's feelings having an incident so close to the finish?
It was so close to lose the race. And now I'm very happy. A lot of pressure went down, because if you're leading, there's such a big gap, you should not lose in the last 20 minutes.
It was hard, number one.
were great. It was a great fight, and I have two smaller stint wo ich kann ausruhen, and then aber was gut.
A difficult race, emotional today. We led for a long time and we had a big gap at one stage, but we had a couple of problems that set us back, and at the end there we just had to cruise in for third. But today's third is our best we could do, but we've won the A6 championship. That's fantastic. It's great to have that wrapped up.
Ram Racing aren't the only team to have secured a championship.
I think it made my win in the Ladies Cup for sure now. I didn't go over the counting, but I think
we had a very exciting day today. A lot of lead changes in several classes, as well as the overall lead, which had a quite unexpected change close to the end. And we've seen a great race here. 74 cars started. I think 10 to 15 cars needed to retire, unfortunately. But we're very happy for all the teams that joined, and all congratulations to all participants.
Overall winner here at Barcelona is the HP Racing number 2 Mercedes-Benz. Hofer Racing number 10 have got second overall, and Ram Racing in another Mercedes-Benz, the number 30, have held on to third position. The number 17 of Rufia Racing took the Porsche 997 class. In SPX, the 22 Lamborghini Huracan of Lippert Motorsport wins their category. The 66 Porsche of ARC Bratislava won the SP2 class. In SP3, the number 43 Porsche of APO Sport is the winner. In A5, the class was dominated and won by the 146 BMW of Saxon Motorsport. Memak Ogilvy Dual Racing held the lead for a long time in the A3T class and converted that into a win with their Seat Leon. True to the comic book Milan competition, Michel Valiant won the A2 category, and in the D1 class, Team Kaukas was the clear winner in the 137 Volkswagen. Thanks for watching the 24 Hours of Barcelona. The 24-hour series powered by Hankook now moves on to its final round at the Brno Autodrome in the Czech Republic for the Hankook 12-hour epilogue of Brno on the 9th and 10th of October. We'd love to see you in Brno, but if you can't be there, you can follow us online or on Motors TV. This programme is brought to you by Hankook Tyres, BRM Watches, Radio Show Limited, the DNRT and Motors TV.